Fox News. How do we fix this country? And dear Leader Trump. I couldn't care less. I mean, at least he's being truthful for once. Last year, no Canadians filed bankruptcy due to medical bills, but 320,000 Americans did though. Oh, but like, there's definitely no problems, guys, trust me. The shooter is trans. Okay, the bullets were trans. Okay, the roommate is trans. Their desperation to try and blame this on the left is actually mad. We know Charlie Kirk would just want us to pray for such an evil and lost individual like Tyler Robinson to find Jesus Christ. We will try to do the same. Yeah, we really have just gone to this, haven't we? Let's pray for his soul. Bring back the death penalty. I mean, is it really surprising the right has insane double standards? In my eyes, not really. So guys, I have a mental illness that makes me think that these people will change their minds if I present the correct arguments with the appropriate facts and data. Me too. Yeah, the amount of disinformation and conspiracy theories is making me think back about this. 90s scientists. Hey, we cloned a sheep, and we landed a robot on Mars. And scientists today. For the last time, the Earth is round. You know all those people that would say like, oh, in 2025 we'd have flying cars. Or in the future people are going to be smarter than they've ever been. I think they forgot that Fox News existed. Also scientists today. Guys, we found an amazing template for vaccinations that can let us vaccinate against diseases with far fewer side effects. Cut vaccine development time to a fraction of what it used to be, and let them easily adapt to mutations. And the people. It's a witch. Burn the witch. Guys, didn't you know, like, scientific progress is apparently woke? You know, why else do you think we got rid of vaccine mandates in Florida and massively cut the budget of NASA? It's because, like, you know, the betterment of humanity and technologies which let us live longer and happier and healthier, yeah, that's all a bunch of woke nonsense. Is anyone else struggling to understand why Charlie Kirk's death feels heavier than so many other tragedies? I can't explain why it's hitting me this hard. They're literally experiencing empathy for the first time ever in their lives. I literally do not give a shit about anyone else on the planet, but when my front of hatred and discord is tweaked even for a second, I don't know what to do. I feel abnormal and inhuman. To all the maybe one or two MAGA watching this, here's a reason that this feels different. You consciously or subconsciously decide to put an attainable value to human life. Do you have this reaction when schools get attacked? Do you have this reaction when Russia puts a missile through an innocent Ukrainian's house? Do you have this same reaction when Palestinians are bombed? No. The reason you're having this reaction because you feel like you can decide the intrinsic value of a human life and the outrage that is warranted by it. You really just have to step back and admire it. They just released a winking, signed love note from the sitting US president to the most notorious pedophile sex trafficker in history. And nothing much is happening? Could you imagine if that had been Obama? Shit would have been in flames by now. Oh yeah, no, he probably would have been impeached, and then an investigation would have been put against him, and he'd probably be in prison. But no, when it's Dear Leader, it's different. Over on the conservative subs, they aren't even allowed to talk about this. So much about freedom of speech. Oh wait, they meant freedom to push their propaganda and hear nothing else. That's their freedom of speech. Instead, they're talking about how terrible Bill Clinton is because he's in the same book. Not allowed. They really are the biggest hypocrites. So hypocritical, it's becoming fucking fatal. The Supreme Court literally just ruled that this Family Guy meme is an okay test for ICE agents arresting people. Ah, yeah, you're definitely the good guys, guys. Go you. Each day gets scarier and scarier with this administration. Oops, you made the mistake. It's a regime, not an administration. Nobody in it is a civil servant. Only a self-servant. Well, yeah, because why care about the country that you're sworn to protect when I can get money and I want other people that I don't like to die because I'm a bigoted piece of shit. You know, I voted and supported these people because, as everyone knows, they're only gonna serve specifically me. And you know, it's not like if we normalize that sort of agenda, they're actually just going to be prioritizing their own self-interest as opposed to my greedy self. You know, that will never happen. Hey chat, if you guys are enjoying the Schadenfreude, you should totally like, subscribe and share, because it helps this gay guy reading stuff a lot. Anyways, back to the video and have a great day. Trump relative says it's definitely his signature on the Epstein birthday note. No, it was definitely a Democrat hoax that he was a confidential informant on, and didn't know him, knew him, it happened and it didn't happen. Cause, you know, that's just how it works in MAGA. That's definitely his signature, just saying. I don't even understand what the argument that it's fake is. A lie to keep the cult hooked? Yeah, that's what it is. That this wasn't really in the book, or that a 22-year-old book had a fake edition from Trump to frame him? That's the thing, their argument immediately falls apart. Trump and Epstein were very close in 2003, and there's no contesting that Epstein had this birthday album because it was provided by his estate. So once you take the argument that his signature was forged, literally half a step further, you're faced with the questions, who would have forged his signature on that in 2003, and for what purpose? And there's no answer to that because it's not a forgery. No, actually, what they did is they got the Democrat time machine, you know, the one next to the Democrat weather machine, went back in time, forged it, and then came back. Yeah, 1,000,000%. What a humiliating way for Don Jr. to find out that his dad sends birthday cards. Aw, he never got one because he only sends birthday cards to predators. Apparently. I cannot for the life of me understand how the Democrats think this is some kind of winning political message. Yields, man. Let the troops come into your city and show how crime could be reduced. Right. King George. I cannot for the life of me understand how the colonists think this is a winning political message. Yield. Let my troops come into your city and show how crime can be reduced. But it's different because King George was woke, you know, hundreds of years ago. We have 217 of the 218 signatures required. We just need one more congressman to sign the discharge petition in order to force a vote in the House on a bill to release the Epstein files. Victims deserve justice, and Americans demand transparency. Oh yeah, the victims do deserve justice, but it seems like dear leader of the US that some incredibly smart people voted in thinks otherwise. Because they're his victims, not just Epstein's. Bunch of cowards. Our government is a joke. A dangerous joke. I wonder why they won't release it. I said, I wonder which SCOTUS name is on it. And also, POTUS name is on it. The problem with giving these Arkansas farmers a bailout is that they will keep voting for the people that will keep hurting them financially. Frankly, it's time they pick themselves up by the bootstraps and stop asking for help. Regards, Frank. Thank you, Frank. Yeah, these people get government handouts and vote for no government handouts. Make it make sense, someone. This is, disheartening. Looked at my data collections for state-backed activity. If the report were a picture... Chinese and Russian bots. Come on, do a civil war. You should also just put in MAGA shill accounts in general there as well. Russia entered Polish airspace twice in the past 48 hours, and there hasn't been much coverage. It's almost as if a civil war would help them out a lot. It has been everywhere in Europe though. It's just that the US is kinda neglecting it, and we all know why. Just a reminder, a lot of people in power would rather you fight a civil war, a race war, or in general a war between you peons than a class war. Why do you think Elon Musk was literally calling for violence in my country yesterday? They would rather everyone fight amongst themselves while they eat cake than, you know, them actually being realized for the total exploitative pieces of shit that they are. Yes, murder is wrong. Also true, Charlie Kirk was a hateful fascist whose rhetoric fueled violence against minorities and helped create today's mess. Both can be true. This. Dozens of people are gunned down each day, but until now, none of them was important. Like I said, everyone's human. People's value doesn't just suddenly change. I'm sorry. Family members of the 11 Venezuelans killed by Trump's attack on a boat say none were drug traffickers or members of MS-13. Venezuelan investigators confirm the same. Meanwhile, the Trump regime still refuses to produce any evidence about the narco-trafficking claims. Well, it's simple. They want to play this whole tough guy bully act where they swing their dick around and committed a war crime while they were at it. But hey, you think they're going to hold themselves accountable? Fuck no. The Mar-a-Lago trials are still a way down the line. They're trying to start a war. Whether it's foreign or domestic, they don't care, as long as they can call it a war. War gives the federal government a wide range of powers that they want to have access to. Those powers will supercharge their migration from democracy to authoritarian control. It's their whole scheme. If there's always an enemy to fight, there's always a reason for them to be in. And with the shit that they've been pulling, if they want to stay in, the only way is grabbing onto every possibility of power that they can. Trump will burn this country and the world to the ground to cover his ass. And that's what happens when you elect a nepo baby idiot billionaire as the president of the United States. What depths of his ass did he pull this bullshit from? Charlie Kirk murder suspect, deeply indoctrinated with leftist ideology, Governor Spencer Cox says. Why the media is not opening with this bullshit, shaming Cox for trying to incite violence, is beyond me. This should be the headline because this attitude is awfully dangerous. It's blatantly obvious that they're using Kirk's death as a political pawn to try and accelerate what political tensions were already here. Why do you think Trump blamed the radical left for his death? Even though now, signs are pointing to the fact he was raised in a Republican household, and even now, his origins are still fuzzy. It really is the perfect encapsulation. Russia invades Polish airspace, so Trump issues an ultimatum to NATO. Right. But you don't understand. Siding with the invader is definitely some 4D chess amazing move, and he's definitely the good guy. All public universities should be required to have a minimum 50% of their staff to be conservative professors by spring 2026, in each department. So you want to bring back affirmative action? No, I want to remove the left-wing oppression that's destroyed American universities. By requiring ideological affirmative action, apparently. Good luck with that. Charlie Kirk's positions were actually fairly moderate, and they killed him. and yet they killed him for them and celebrated the murder. If you or your loved ones held those beliefs, they would do the same to you without remorse. Sorry, but, quote, black people are too dumb to fly planes. Jesus Christ. And, quote, slavery was good for black people and not moderate positions. Just thinking about how the right made up an entirely fictional left-wing character that resulted in so many bomb threats and the like, and nobody will face consequences. But people on the left who accurately clocked the victim's life work lost jobs. I mean, it's not the first time they've done it, and it certainly won't be the last. Their whole political career is based off of them building up fake characters that don't actually exist, and artificially amplifying their apparent threat to get votes from people either too bigoted or too gullible to think that it could possibly be true. Of course they're going to do what they've done for years upon years for this one. It's whatever amplifies their political horn. If a Democrat was assassinated, could you imagine what would be going on right now? Are you fucking serious? Yes, I can, because it happened literally 3 months ago. And guess what? Democrats called for gun reform and right-wingers made jokes about it. Trump said calling anybody to give his condolences would be a waste of time, and then skipped the funeral. So no, we don't have to imagine. It literally just happened. And not a single person on the left called for a war, or called for the Republican Party to be labelled a domestic terrorist organisation. You cared so little that you don't even remember it. Really tells you which party is the party of reason and which is the party of division, hate, and the constant grab for more and more power. One's a political party, the other's a regime. Let's just make that very, very clear.